A lot of parents of bilingual kids worry that their kids will get confused, and that stops them from even starting. But research and real-life families tell a different story. Hi, I'm a mum, and I've got a PhD in emotion and behavioral research, and I'm raising my own bilingually too. In this video, I'm going to break down the 3 most common bilingual parenting methods, and I'll help you pick the right one for your family. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and send it on to another bilingual parent. Stay to the end because the answering in English problem has a solution with no nagging involved. Let's start with the myth that messes with everyone's confidence. Kids that grow up with 2 languages do not get confused. When kids learn 2 languages, they are not confused. Sometimes they mix up words or grammar, and sometimes they use a word from language 1 in a sentence from language 2, and that is completely normal development. It's called code switching, and it's usually a sign that they're being resourceful in the languages they have available. Over time, kids get better by separating languages, by context and by person. Also, bilingualism does not cause speech or language disorders. If a child has a true language disorder, it would show up across languages, not just in one. If you need permission to begin or to keep going, this is it. The big idea to hold on to is bilingual kids are not confused, they are learning. Know the part that nobody tells you clearly enough. Bilingual kids do not happen by accident, especially if one language is the community language. The community language tends to win because it's everywhere. In the community, at school, at home, with friends, on the playground. Even with a cashier who chats with your kid for 0.4 seconds and somehow becomes their bestie. Your job is not to be perfect. Your job is to create enough consistent exposure and enough reason to use the home language that it has a fighting chance. Which brings us to the 3 big methods. Remember, if you don't plan for the second language, the community language will plan for you. Method 1. One parent, one language. Now this is the classic. One parent consistently speaks language 1, the other parent consistently speaks language 2. Why people love it? It's simple, it's predictable, and your kid learns, oh, I speak this language with this person. The part that people don't say out loud is one parent, one language works the best when the minority language parent is spending a lot of meaningful time with the child and using a lot of the language. If the minority language parent is only around for bedtime, there might not be enough exposure for the language to stick and for the kid to become a confident speaker. So one parent, one language isn't magic, it's a structure. It still needs volume and consistency. If one parent, one language fits your family, you can try tying it to routines. Like for example, morning routine in language 2 with parent A, bedtime routine in language 1 with parent B, and weekend outings include language 2, adventure talk. So remember, one parent, one language works when the minority language parent provides lots of real talk time, not just a few phrases. Method 2, minority language at home. This is the home language bubble. At home, everyone uses the minority language as much as possible, and the community language happens outside. This is one of the strongest options when you're trying to protect the minority language, because home is where the hours are. But here's the real life part. Most parents are in the 100% minority language at home, and that can still work. You might switch to the community language for homework, emails, school stuff, and then come back to the minority language right after, or when you need to discuss something complex fast. And that won't ruin it. The biggest predictor of success is if the minority language is used for real life. For instance, comfort, play, conflict, jokes, routines. Not just say the color drills. Because children learn language best through meaningful interaction, not in flashcard isolation. So remember, the home language needs to be a real life language, not a lesson language. Method 3, time and place. This one is the most flexible, and honestly, it's underrated. Time and place means you pick specific contexts where the minority language is the default. For example, dinner table is language 2. Bath time is language 2. Saturdays are language 2. Playground is language 2. Car rides are language 2. Why this works? It reduces burnout. You're not trying to be bilingual every second of the day. You're building predictable language zones. This method is especially good if both parents share the same first language but want to pass on a second one, or one parent isn't fluent, or you're starting later and need something sustainable. So remember, time and place make bilingualism sustainable, which makes it stick. How to pick the right method for your family? Here's the truth. The best method is the one you can stick to consistently without resenting it. So ask yourself, which language is the community language? Who can speak the minority language with warmth and confidence? When do we actually have the most talking time as a family? What's the easiest language zone to protect? And please hear me out on this one. If you're not fully fluent in the minority language, you can still raise a bilingual child. But you want to protect one thing: rich, emotionally connected language. One reason experts often encourage parents to use the language they're most comfortable with is because kids need a deep language too. Comfort language, discipline language, storytelling language, not just vocabulary lists. So if you're a non-native speaker, your plan might just look like you do time and place daily. You add media and books into the minority language. You build community with speakers who can give your child native quality input. And remember, the best method is the one you can keep doing even when you're tired. The biggest bilingual parenting myth is it will just happen if you speak it at home. What actually matters is two things: enough exposure, enough need. Need means your child actually has reasons to speak the language. Relationships, routines, play, identity, belonging. If they can get everything they want from the community language, they likely will. So create gentle and natural need. Regular calls with grandparents or cousins who use the minority language. A weekly play date with a family who speaks it. A Saturday morning show that only exists in that language. Bedtime stories in that language. A special thing with you that happens in that language, like baking or going for walks. So remember, exposure builds skill, but need builds habit. Now, what do you do if your child answers to you in English? First of all, let's normalize it. Here are a few calm responses that work better than "say it properly" or "we don't speak English to mommy." Option A is the recast. This is my favorite because it's very low drama. Child says, "I want water." You, in minority language, say, "You want water? Here you go." You then add an easy follow-up question in the minority language. Cold or warm? You're not forcing a performance. You're modeling the correct language in a way that keeps the conversation flowing. Option B, the choice. You, do you want to tell me in language too, or should I help you say it? This gives them autonomy and it keeps you on their team. Option C, the I understand you, and in language too, we say warm tone, zero shame. Option D, the game reset. If the vibe is playful, you can do a silly switch. Oh, English is sleeping right now. Let's use language too. The goal is to keep the minority language associated with connection, not with correction. So remember, don't pressure. Model, repeat, and keep the conversation moving. If you're looking for a realistic weekly plan that doesn't burn you out, try this. One daily anchor routine in the minority language. Bedtime often works best. One language zone in the day, like a car ride. One community touch point per week, like a play date or a family call. One fun media input, like a song, a story, or a show in the minority language. If you do those 4 things consistently, you're stacking the deck. And if you fall off a week because life happens, you haven't ruined it. You just restart. So remember, small daily routines beat big bursts of motivation. Here's a quick reassurance if you're worried about delays. Bilingual children often have similar early communication milestones, like babbling, gestures, first word timing. And their total vocabulary across both languages is what matters, not just the word count in one language. So if you're counting words and panicking, then count words across both languages. That's the fair comparison. And if you're ever truly concerned, you can always seek support. Just make sure the expert understands bilingualism, because bilingualism is likely not the problem. If you take anything else from this video, take bilingualism is not a personality trait your child either has or hasn't. It's the consequence of routines, relationships, and repetition. Pick a method, make it doable, create need, and keep it warm. And if your child answers in English tomorrow, it does not mean that it's not working. It means they're just a normal kid using the most available tool. You can just gently try making the other tool easier to reach. If you want, leave a comment and tell me what method your household is using and what is working for you. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe and send it on to another bilingual parent.